Hi, this is Mrs. Basin, and in this section we're going to look at quantitative information from balanced equations. Now what we know this as from honors chem is stoichiometry. So all stoichiometry is looking at the relationship between reactants and products and using a mole ratio in an equation to help us predict reactants used, products formed. So when you have a balanced equation, those coefficients, those big numbers in front, tell us the ratio of moles of reactants and products. So when you're doing a stoichiometry problem, the first thing you have to make sure you do is you have a correct balanced equation. So if you remember from before, this is kind of like a mole conversion, but with it's a little more on both sides. So we can start with grams of A, which is what we have right here. We can use the molar mass to get to moles of A. Then we use those coefficients from the balanced equation to get to moles of B. Then from that we can use the molar mass of B to go from grams of B. So the difference here between the stoichiometry and just the mole conversions is in this one we're actually changing from one substance to another substance, and that's where that balanced equation comes into play, because we're going to use those coefficients as our ratio of moles of one substance to get to moles of something else. So we're going to do some examples here, and I'm actually going to skip 3.14. I don't think we need quite so many examples for this particular section, so we're going to skip ahead to 3.15. And this time we're looking at lithium hydroxide. This can be used in space vehicles to absorb carbon dioxide. So it gives us the reaction here. It says that lithium hydroxide reacts with carbon dioxide. So we're going to start with our balanced equation. So LiOH plus carbon dioxide forms lithium carbonate, Li2CO3, and water. Okay, so then we would take a minute to balance that. For this one, all I have to do is put a 2 there. So that's my original balanced equation. I want to know how many grams of carbon dioxide can be absorbed by each 1 gram of lithium hydroxide. So if I start with 1 gram of lithium hydroxide, how many grams of carbon dioxide can I absorb? So for this one, I'm going to start with grams of lithium hydroxide. I'm going to go to moles of that, convert to moles of CO2, and then back finally to grams of CO2. Because again here, just like before, moles is our bridge from one substance to another. So just like always, I'm going to start with my 1 gram of lithium hydroxide. And before I can do anything, I have to convert that to moles. So I'm going to use the molar mass, just like I've done before. So molar mass, I'm adding up 1 lithium, 1 oxygen, 1 hydrogen. That comes out to be 23.95 grams. Then I'm going to use the mole ratio to get from moles of LiOH to moles of CO2. So there is 1 mole of CO2, because that's what I want to convert to, for every 2 moles of LiOH. And again, that ratio there comes from this balanced equation. So that's where I got that ratio of moles of CO2 to moles of LiOH. Then my last step is to go to grams of CO2, and to do this I'm just using a molar mass. So 44.01 grams is my molar mass of CO2. Multiply across, divide top to bottom, and I end up with 0.919 grams of CO2. So that's how much carbon dioxide could be absorbed for every 1 gram of lithium hydroxide used. Okay.